resistance towards their Creator. They're so attracted towards their Creator. They show no resistance towards it. They recognize Allah's traits. They recognize Allah's greatness. That He's the provider of rizq. That He's the giver of mercy. That He's the compassionate. That He's the all-seeing. They go through these motions. They recognize it. They're like, wow, actually, maybe that's all I need. Maybe that is all I need. Maybe no matter what situation I'm in, the answer is very easy. وَمَنْ يَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ فَهُوَ حَسْبُهُ. And whoever relies upon Allah, He is sufficient for them. Surah 65, verse number 3. Or maybe it's Surah Ibrahim, verse number 7. If you're grateful, I will certainly give to you more. Or maybe it's Surah Al-Ghafir, Surah number 40, verse number 60. وَقُلْ رَبُّكُمْ أَدْعُونِي أَسْتَجِبْ لَكُمْ. And your Lord says, call upon me and I'll answer you. Allahu Akbar. Alhamdulillah, subhanallah. Maybe just at the very basic level. This dhikr, this remembrance, this swimming towards Allah, this calamity, this challenge, this difficulty that I face can be conquered by remembering that Allah has it. That Allah's got it covered. That Allah's got me. That He's given me the rizq for my very next breath. He'll give me the rizq for the very next day if He decrees it. And if He doesn't, I trust Him. I trust His Son. And all is good. That whilst I can get a help and no issues, the rizq comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala primarily. He is the first mover. He is the principal cause. He is behind anything good that comes forward. So rather than going straight to the solutions that I think are solutions, I turn towards the principal cause of any solution. That is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I ask you this question, and myself first, before anyone. When we face a challenge, when we face these situations, what is the first thing that we usually do? Solutions. What is the thing that the Holy Prophet's guiding us towards him with this gift towards Lady Zahra? Before thinking about that, turn towards your Creator. Turn towards the one who gives sustenance. Because maybe in that moment, the help is not good for you. Maybe in the moment, that financial deal is good for you. We don't know. But we take the first step towards Allah, and we know the same way that He's given us another breath, He'll give me the solution that I need. I'd rather have a godly, inspired, and given helper than one that is not. Now, all we're doing here is scratching a very, very basic surface, and I'm hoping the majority of you here are like, okay, Salim, we get it, that's it. The holy member of Rasulullah is not meant to be a point here, and I talk about this member here. It's not meant to be where we get all of our education. And perhaps going through your head, you're now thinking, well, hold on, I trusted Allah and I still face a difficult situation. So go on, prove that one. Or actually, Sadiq, you know what? When I did go towards Allah first, the situation got even worse. Well, you know what, Sadiq? Whilst I was going towards Allah, my family member died. Go on, solve me that one. My dear brothers and sisters, this is a question for you to go and answer. This is an invitation for you to go and read, for you to go and learn, for you to go and invest. If you're coming here and you're sat here and this is your only form of education on this deen that encapsulates every second of your life, then I think we need to reevaluate our priorities. I think we need to invest. The financial advisor got his credentials by working hard. The one who attained Jannah, the advisor to Jannah, the inhabitant of Jannah, worked hard to get them as well. It didn't just come by chance. So all these questions will arise. Not just these, but many others. And we need to go and learn ourselves. And as I said, maybe now you're going, is this all he had, tasbih? Is this all we had? All these different situations that you talked about, all it is was tasbih, that was the only solution? As I said to you, there's every chance that you may roll your eyes at this. But you're not rolling your eyes at me, you're rolling your eyes at the solution given by the Holy Prophet to his holy daughter. So maybe the issue is not with the solution, maybe the issue is within my understanding of the solution. Will we be able to understand the solution in 40 minutes? Absolutely. Will we be able to understand it in our lifetime? Perhaps. But with movement, with change. And you've all been trained, you've all been educated. So go and seek. Don't go and consume knowledge. Go and seek knowledge. Be on a quest. And inshallah, I'd like to end with this. And that's that when we reflect on Lady Fatima alayhi salam, so many times we come out and say, you know, mashallah, she was in her late teens, for example, 18 years old. Look how much she accomplished. Mashallah, 18. And I'm what? In my 20s. You're in your teens, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. Ayatollah Jawadi Amini has a beautiful, short passage where he discusses this concept of age. 18 years old Lady Fatima alayhi salam, but she accomplished that someone far more, way more. Ayatollah Jawadi Amini says the following. He says, to be in tune with societal needs, we created this concept of age, right? So that on a passport I can say I'm 27 years old. I'm born in 1994, etc., etc., etc. But this isn't a measure of time. When someone comes out and says, yeah, I'm 50, that's not a measure of how old you are. That's a measure of how many times the earth has gone round the sun. That's got nothing to do with you. That's just how many years have elapsed since you were born. How many years, how many times the earth has gone around the sun. It's got nothing to do with you. It's got nothing to do with your progress. In Jannah, you don't turn up with your passport saying, I was aged 50. We're assessed on something else. Our age is assessed on something else. Zayd will be 50 when he's taken 50 steps of knowledge. But Zayd can also remain one even if the earth has gone around the sun 100 times from the point where he was born. So amongst us sat here, are we old boys? Are we old girls? Or are we men and women with wisdom? What is our spiritual age? When was the last time we reflected on our spiritual age? When was the last time we invested to even take a first step to complete a first year in our spiritual age? Because we can sit here and mourn for Lady Fatima alayhi salam. 18, yeah. The tragedy is not in her being 18. The tragedy is that the volume of knowledge that was within this lady was still attacked, was still taken. The tragedy is that her lovers still sit here, and you have 100 years of the earth have elapsed, but their spiritual age is still 1 or 2, and they still don't understand the concept of tasbih. That is the cry. That is the challenge. I mentioned, and inshallah on this final note, that if we want to try and understand Fatima alayhi salam, Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salam has come out with a hadith where it's reported to say, إِنَّمَا سُمِّيَتْ فَاطِمَةً لِأَنَّ الْخَلْقَ فُطِمُوا عَنْ مَعْرِفَتِهَا. That she was named Fatima because the people were weaned from their knowledge of her. She's a person that nobody can realize who she really is. She's a lady of a status that will never understand. She has a spiritual age that will never ever comprehend. This is coming from a Ma'soom Imam that will never understand her. And Ayatollah Wahid presents the following, and inshallah we'll move into the Masa'ib by our dear brother. But just reflect on these words as your heart goes to Medina. He asks and he says, have you ever experienced breaking a bone in the body? Just take a little finger. You've trapped it in the door. Even if it's not broken, you trap that finger in the door and you're in pain. You find out it's broken, someone moves it, so you're in even more pain. You plaster it up so carefully so that you don't come out of pain. But at any movement, even when they remove that plaster, you're like, whoa! What about when the whole hand is broken? What about thinking about the breaking of ribs? How is a person able to breathe once their ribs have been broken? And Ayatollah Wahid puts this in such a tough way to discuss, but we'll share it for these nights of Fatimiyya. He explains it this way. He says, she remained alive, she alayhi salam, Lady Zahra alayhi salam remained alive for 90 days, breathing with a broken rib. And her soul was taken with every breath she took until her last. Her soul did not only come out once, but rather she was dying with every single breath that she took. And if you were to take a pregnant lady, and if you were to see how carefully they look after that stomach of theirs, that Allah has gifted them with this unborn that they're there to nurture through His rizq, that if that lady were to trip up, what's the first thing they would hold? It's not themselves, it's straight to their fetus. It's straight to make sure that their fetus is safe. Their existence doesn't matter anymore. And that's only if they trip up. I ask you, tell me about Fatima. When she hears the door coming down, does she stop herself from being hit with the hands of the enemy? With the whip of the enemy? With the door falling? Or with the fire falling upon her? And does she protect herself, or does she protect the fetus of Muhsin? To ease the heart of our awaited Savior and the heart of Rasulullah,
اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد